Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Well,
Dandava Pranam Gurudev, morning obeisances, checking the sound. Probably it's clear.
yes. Morning obeisances to you. And on this side of the world, we are still recovering from yesterday, means I'm not in the usual setup for the Zoom, but we've solved the problem, I think. Just give me a moment. In the meantime, let us begin with the Vandanam. So slowly together. Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvije Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, dear devotees, more or less we're here. I'm in Srila Gurudev's room as usual, but we're sitting on the floor because we were sitting on the floor yesterday and we were with the devotees. And we've been having a festival. And you've been having a festival. Everyone's been having a festival. In their heart, in their home, in their ashrams, in their heads. We hope the main thing is that our consciousness will give honor and will be in the proper frame of mind. So we are trying, and to help our consciousness, we need to use our physical energy whenever we can to do something helpful to make the world go round, the devotional world go round. All right. And today we have Jayadev Prabhu. What day is today? Today is Sunday. Right, so there's no Bhagavad Gita class on a Sunday. In Salt Lake City, we have Harini Devi Dasi in Salt Lake City also. And so happy, and Sarasya Romani. Okay, Salt Lake City well represented. And the West Coast represented by Bhima Krishna and Ishtadevika. And Ganga Leela Devi Dasi is with us also from USA. And Ananda Sundari. Yes, Ganga Leela obeisances. and Ananda Sundari Devi Dasi. Are you back home in South Africa? I think you're back home by now, or soon going back to South Africa after being in India for her treatment. And
Dandavats Maharaj, I am still in India. I am leaving back home tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. So have a safe journey, and I hope everything is going well. I know your heart is always perfect. So why perfect? Because going in the right direction, knowing that there is only one proper shelter in the world.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Do continue happily. We are all with a big problem. That's our material bodies. So we have to try our best to to just keep the right consciousness and to know this is not our home.
Yes, that is so true. But thank you so much, and all of you, all the devotees, for all your well wishes. It's been a long month, but I'm happy to go home and I'm feeling much better.
Wonderful. We're happy to hear that. All right, and so in Thailand too, we have Aparajita Devi Dasi and Muktinath Prabhu and Leela Moy Prabhu, Priya Sundari Devi Dasi, and in the background, but not in the background, but not in the background, is Keshavananda Prabhu. And in our little gathering, or our big gathering yesterday, then we have all the small pictures on the screen. The computer was a little bit far back. But Jai Shri said, is that Keshavananda there? And you were there in the back corner. And so we zoomed in, it was Keshavananda, and everybody smiling happily. They're all very happy. And, oh, Muktinath Prabhu, and Jayadev Prabhu also, Jayadev Prabhu, from the, I could say another Jayadev Prabhu from the caravan or from his mobile home, his traveling home. Prabhu, happy to have you with us, Jayadev Prabhu. And Rupanuga Prabhu, and Pavan Krishna in Thailand also, Rupanuga Prabhu in Australia, survived the recent storms. All right, dear devotees, today here is the day after the Jagannath Mishra's Anandotsav, the happy festival of Jagannath Mishra for his son's appearance. And it's raining and it's gently cold. It's not so cold, but I don't know any news of today because today hasn't started except us getting prepared for being with you. But I can say about yesterday here, and that is a very natural and beautiful festival yesterday. And our festival was led by Srila Gurudev, believe it or not, of course. It was led by Srila Gurudev, but a little bit by chance, because we have, as you have, we have the recordings of Srila Gurudev, and this was from the web, and we were playing the 2002 recording of Srila Gurudev in Nabadwip Dham on Gaura Purnima Day. And he was telling giving some introduction, giving invocation first of all. So Vandeham Sri Guru, Srila Gurudev was leading us. It was a clear recording. So yesterday's web on scsmath.com. Then one of those recordings is, it says January, February, March 2002. And I believe there are 2 recordings there. So we listened to them. Srila Gurudev led and we followed. And he led Ki Jani, Ki Bole, this song, and Emana Durmati, this song. And explained also about how Srila Guru Maharaj particularly stressed those 2 songs for Srila Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev very happy. And then he started us with the singing. He started to sing the verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we followed, and then the recording fades out. It fades out just after the first verse or 2. And Krishna Consciousness just kept on leading. As it faded, as Srila Gurudev's recording faded out, Krishna Consciousness continued singing. So we sang 2 days in a row that section from Chaitanya Charitamrita with great happiness, we can say. Because we keep an eye on, by now we more or less know what we are singing, by the way. I mean, for that section we sung many times and read many times in our life. And as we all read more Chaitanya Charitamrita, with the shlokas and taking a little bit of attention, then we do become familiar with many words. And just like in every language, there are, so many key words. There are so many the core words rather. And I heard it's something like 250 words or something like that, that if you want to learn a language, there are 250 words, which are the core words. And so many of these core words, they're coming up in the Bengali. It's all in Bengali, it's not Sanskrit. So it's quite easy, I mean, relatively easy to relate to. And when we are singing, we are catching the gist of the verses, what they're telling, and very wonderful. So this is a little bit of news from here, from yesterday. From today, I can only say it was raining. Oh yes, and of course, we can't omit the feast. And the feast, I mean, it's just wonderful. Every feast is the best feast. Well, yesterday's feast was the best feast too. And lots of devotees, and very happily. And we had quite a contingent from the Ukraine, but not necessarily directly coming from the Ukraine, but from Ukraine, because lots of Ukrainians now live outside of Ukraine, who can, in a sense, they are outside of Ukraine. And so we had from Switzerland, we had two separate, and I mean, two devotees from different places in Switzerland coming, and from Portugal and from different places, as well as Ojayashri, who we mentioned just now, who is from Salt Lake City, but her mother-in-law, she is here in Italy, and she is now for 1 year with her two, I mean, quite maturing daughters, I think they're both in their teens by now. They're two daughters who go to school here to keep up their Italian. So the parents are very happy that they spend a year in school here in Italy. And they came with the daughters, and everyone was here. And anyway, and devotees from around and about. So anyway, very wonderful festival day. And if my throat is a little deeper than usual, we've been singing and talking. All right. So let me just click to here. Can I ask, actually, first of all, can I ask to Thailand, because I see Muktinath Prabhu and Aparajita Devi Dasi are here. Can you give a little report from, we've also, of course, we've got Govinda Farm here too, but let me just hear from Aparajita. Please give a little news. Muktinath Prabhu, give a little news. What were you able to do something these last couple of days for remembrance and glorification of the Lord?
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everyone. Always very nice to see and to hear everyone. Right now in Bangkok, we try to make events every weekend. And yesterday we also just had our Bhakti yoga class, like gathering at the bookshop, that when you come to Thailand and you have a talk there. And now we quite have a few Thai people attend regularly, and very nice. Yesterday also a few curious Thai people, like they're practicing yoga and they want to know more, and very nice. And yeah, on the Gaura Purnima day, me and Muktinath Prabhu in Bangkok, that is contemple, so we just visit and join there. I'm very impressed, full of people. Maybe
Okay. Beautiful. And Muktinath Prabhu, would you like to give a little report too? To add to the report?
Yes, Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everyone. Yeah, right. We did a couple of programs last months, and very good idea was to screening film about Srila Prabhupada, and the owner of that bookshop, folk House of Common, he gave a projector, and Aparajita Devi Dasi, she bring laptop and arranged that why that movie was made by ISKCON devotee about Srila Prabhupada. And it's easy for people to get some idea what is Krishna Consciousness movement, about mantra. And we already filming 2 times. We do filming, and already some people would like to watch also because they cannot came last time. So we will do 3rd time after maybe after 2 weeks. Maybe we already arranged the event for filming, and people would like to come and see again. Yes, something like that. So yeah, very good people, very nice people, a very nice, simple gathering. So yeah, by blessing of devotees, by your blessings, so we always remembering how going festivals in Govinda Farm, how going festivals with devotee, our experience. So we try to share all this mood, all that mood.
Right. And you're describing, you're mentioning the owner of that shop and that shop, but it's not just a shop, it's a cafe, and a like esoteric cafe, something like that, with lots of books to read. And then there's that place upstairs, which is the gathering place with lots of books around the walls. And the people, they are naturally inclined towards the esoteric, the higher values of life. And so we saw that they very much appreciated what was the gift of Mahaprabhu as presented by the devotees. And really have to say, without Srila Prabhupada, none of us have any connection with proper spiritual life at all. And we'd read books and spiritual books before, one way or another. And amazing that people can do all sorts of spiritual meditation and things, but somehow or another, it just didn't feel that it was substantial, or that it was possible for me. It's like reading a book about an athlete or something Olympic athletes, they can be an Olympic athlete, a Formula One driver can be a Formula One driver, but you're reading about somebody else's life. But Srila Prabhupada, he showed what is real spiritual life and how it is for everybody, because we're all spiritual, we're all conscious. And our purpose of life, our human body purpose, is to wake up our Krishna consciousness. And that's not just to read about somebody more or less, boasting about their realizations and the nirvana jumping into their heart and this, that, and the other. But it's Srila Prabhupada coming to say, this is for you, you do. And this strikes a very important point in our heart. And he brought what is the you do thing, the thing we should do. That's the gift of Mahaprabhu, to chant the holy names of the Lord. Very practical. And Srila Prabhupada introduced, and then, as Srila Prabhupada said, he's bringing raw gems for Srila Guru Maharaj to polish. And Srila Guru Maharaj polishing those gems, showing the standard of devotional life after the initial joining into Krishna consciousness, leaving meat, fish, eggs, leaving illicit sex, leaving intoxication, leaving gambling, and then starting to chant Hare Krishna, then the conduct of life, etc. And Srila Prabhupada, amazingly tolerant, to live in all sorts of very un-Hindu, what to speak of un-Vaishnava environments, in order to bring Mahaprabhu's message to the world.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada prepared by Srila Guru Maharaj, as he himself says. And Srila Prabhupada, considering Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, his dearmost son. And he had sons, but Gurudev, his dearmost son, this beautiful way.
Yes.
And by the way, in the chat box, I see it's Ganga Leela Devi Dasi's birthday today. So let us all wish her a happy birthday. And, well, if we could convince the cooks to make a birthday cake for you. And we always like when people have a birthday. But as it turns out, your
Hare
birthday...
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But
Thank you very much.
as it turns out, your birthday was... you shared your birthday this year with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar. So...
And it's exactly what I did. I went to the neighborhood temple. There was a kirtan mela, and it was packed. And they gave me a garland, and we had prasadam. And yes, my insignificant birthday I kept to very few people, but you know, celebrating Mahaprabhu was fantastic.
Beautiful. And who had the... I forget just now who it was. I remember the other day, we had a birthday, I mean, a birth of a child day. And, I mean, unfortunately, the passing away day also of a devotee. And so this is also, when we have birthdays, it's a reminder that we were young once. Not only young, we were very young once. We were born, and we forget lots of things. And also yesterday we had young children here in the festival, of course, with their parents are coming, eager to come, bringing the children. And seeing the young children, it's a reminder that that is also us. We were young children. And also one of them, the boy, he's very auspicious. One boy was here yesterday, and he's a very auspicious looking, but he's, I don't know what age, I think 2.5, something like that. He's not yet speaking, except he can say, with a little encouragement, Hare and Krishna. But then I'm talking to him, I'm sitting him down, he sits down, very good boy, and I'm talking to him. He doesn't understand anything I'm saying, no doubt, but trying to get him, you know, to tell him something sensible to chant, and he's getting this idea of following. But you see, a young child, yes, still a baby. I don't know when a baby is not a baby, but anyway, very young child, 2.5 years old or so. And, you know, it starts off like you think you're communicating something, but then within a few seconds, looking everywhere and pointing something and, you know, some funny sounds. And then you realize that how much can you say, how much can you transmit to a baby? And then similarly, the little bit older children were here yesterday. How much, even though they do understand what you say, I think, you know, how much goes through. But that's us all. As now we're mature. It's not going to get better than it is now for all of us here. We're all grown up. Oh my goodness. So it's not going to get any better. So now we are still a little bit in this category of, we hear from, you know, the grown-ups, the mature persons, means Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. We hear from them, and they are trying to communicate with us. But how much are we letting in, and how much are we assimilating? We must try as best we can and be conscious of our own limited nature. So main thing is that we can not waste our time now we are mature, because it's not going to get better. When you're a young child and you look to adults, then you kind of think that they must be sensible and awake. But when we are adults and we're with adults, we wonder how sensible and awake even grown-ups are in this world. So the scriptures are coming to help us to wake up and be sensible. The gurus, the Vaishnavas, they're all coming to wake us up, try to wake us up and to be sensible. Jai. All right, and at this point, we do have to come to Sri Govinda Farm, and there you've got Keshavananda Prabhu, you've got Leela Prabhu, and you've got Ramasunda. That's Ramasunda behind, yes? Yes, Ramasunda. So you're very small, you're only 1/10,000th the tip of the hair. Okay, yes, that too, but you're small on my screen. But yes, Ramasunda Prabhu is there, and Priya Sundari Devi Dasi was there, and then she got cut out of the picture. All right. So, Jai Gauranga Prabhu, engaging in service. All right. Very good. Good for you, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Keep busy. So you've got the devotees here, and also there's Krishna Priya somewhere in the background managing the whole ashram. No? Okay, she's somewhere managing the ashram, even if she's not in the ashram. I think I saw...
So you brought some prasadam, right?
Okay.
You do with this guy?
Yeah,
This-
just a little bit.
Leela Moy
Maybe I
Prabhu,
can-
please, you cut out the microphone. Just look at the microphones. You can do it. I'm not a host. Oh, I am a host. So I am. I'm a co-host. All right. So Keshavananda Prabhu and all the team, please share something with us, some substance of Krishna consciousness given by Mahaprabhu, given by Srila Prabhupada, given by Guru Maharaj, given by Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, that's what they gave us.
Maharaj, we came across, we're reading one of the best book ever. I know you're reading the best book ever there in Villa Govinda also, and no doubt in other places around the world, they're also reading the best book ever. Well, we are reading the best book ever, Dignity of the Divine Servitor, words of discourses of Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda De Goswami Maharaj, and no translation. Wonderful. And every day we've been relishing, I think is the word, really, relishing and we came across this shloka, which I like very much, and it's certainly in relation to what you were just mentioning about the children. Every day there's births happening, there's deaths happening, it's all going on. And Gurudev was telling the story of Yudhisthira Maharaj going to the Pandavas going to the lake, and Yamaraj appearing as a white bird and demanding that the brothers answer his questions, or before they drink water, or they will die. And the strong Shata Bhishma said, being saying just ignoring and drinking and dying. And like that with all four brothers, until Yudhisthira Maharaj comes, and then he asks these many questions, and four most famous questions. And that first one, what is the news? That was the question. What is the news? And then the shloka, and this is how Srila Gurudev gives that shloka in English. He says, the months and seasons are like two ladles with which food is turned while being cooked. So that's the seasons and the months, ladles. The sun is like the firewood for cooking with. Maha Moha, illusion, is like the cooking pot. The jivas, souls, are like fish. And kala, time, is frying them. The jivas are being fried in the pot of illusion with the help of the sun, days, nights, months, and seasons, the necessities for frying. The frying is being done by kala, which here also means Yamaraj. It is he who is frying us in this way in the mundane world. This is the news. So Gurudev's been making this point several times as we go through our fortune our fortune in coming into connection with this most sublime, sweet Krishna consciousness, and our necessity to take seriously, because we heard today, for he who is born, death is certain. It's part and parcel, cannot be avoided in this world. And those days and months are passing by, and we are being fried nicely like a fish in the pot. And that what is in our hand now is the most valuable thing. You know, the future we don't know about, the past is dead and buried, but today and now, this is what I have in my hand. So we've been very, so we're trying to remember these words that we're hearing every morning. And we were very happy to hear from Aparajita and Muktinath's news from Bangkok that they're trying to push out a little in the big city of Bangkok and make some programs there. It's wonderful to hear. Here, the service is more kind of internal within the property of the Sri Govinda Dham. It's big property and so many service necessities to keep everything moving along nicely. And one miraculous thing after another. The whole atmosphere is fragrant right now. It's that time of year when all the flowers on the trees and the bushes and the creepers are so sweet smelling. And of course, so they need to be tended to and watered, these servitors of Giriraj and the deities. And then very mystical things have happened. We wanted to plant the, auspicious trees like they have in Govardhan and other places, the Tamal, the Baku, Kanamba, and Champaka. And all these trees are represented here. Well, not Baku yet, but Kadamba trees has a different type of Kadamba. And it's the same species, but a little different, but still has the round flowers, very, very fragrant flowers with filaments. And so Ramapriya and Krishna, Ramasundar and Krishna Priya, Ramapriya is also, were searching for Kadamba tree, and very difficult to find. Couldn't find, basically. Perhaps found one that was already not looking so healthy. And anyway, I'll let Ramsundar tell some story of the Kadamba Katha.
Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats all the devotees. Wow. So basically, me and Krishna Priya, we went to this, basically it's a tree market where they sell all sorts of trees, the banyan trees, every tree you can think of almost. And we were looking for a Kadamba tree, and they had one, but they said that they'd never seen the flowers as long as they had it. And the tree also looked like a bit different than what I expected it would look like, the leaves and stuff. So we weren't sure. And also, it costs money, so we don't want to whimsically spend money on something that we don't know what we're getting. And it wasn't the most healthy tree either. So then we just didn't buy it at that time and decided to wait. And then we would ask many people too, and they say this tree is very, very hard to get in Thailand, and it always grows by the rice fields, they say, the Thai species of it. But then one day, as it may be, actually it was on the disappearance of Madhavendra Puri, so nothing's coincidental, that I went to go check on the Vaishnava Bhavan we are building here, and then to see what was going on. And then I just walked a little bit down the path, and right next to the Yoga Shala, where we always have the festival where the main programs are, I just looked up, and then there was this one flower, and it was very round and had all these filaments coming out. And then I was like, wait a second, that is not a normal flower. And then I picked one, and it was very fragrant. And then we realized that it was a kadamba tree. And then after that, we realized that there's like 15 or 20 of them all over the property. So there wasn't just one. There was at least like 20 kadamba trees around the property. And I was driving my motorbike back to Chintamani, and I also just watched one kokil flying to the tree. And then I looked up at that tree and I stared for a while, and then I realized that when you are entering Chintamani, on the left side, there's all these trees, and most of those trees are kadamba trees. So
Jai. And kadamba trees, when they don't flower, then it's not so easy, well, for me at least, to recognize what is a kadamba tree and what isn't. And I was surprised in Dum Dum Park in Calcutta, the famous like first expansion temple, if you like, or representative temple of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. There in Dum Dum Park, it's beside tank number 10, which means, or just tank number 3 in Dum Dum Park. And then there's a kund. That tank number 3 means it's a small pond where people go and bathe, brush their teeth, wash their clothes, and do everything else in that water. A very social place to get all the gossip in Bengali. And anyway, along the bank right outside the temple, then all along there, they're kadamba trees. And only when they come into flower and that fragrance comes everywhere, and we think, oh, see, in Calcutta, a whole row of kadamba trees. And in Nabadwip, we had kadamba tree just outside where Rama Pishima would live. That was a kadamba tree. But they have a limited season for giving flowers. In Bengal, maybe in Thailand, they have a longer season. But this is listed as part of, in that list of auspicious trees. As Keshavananda Prabhu pointed out, one of those trees that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions specifically about his grove where he will chant. He'll have on each corner, he'll have one of these auspicious trees. And that was Srila Gurudev's desire for Govardhan. He said, in my old age, I will go to Govardhan and have these trees that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned. And I shall sit and I shall write. I have so many things to write, but I'm so disturbed by the management of the temples everywhere. But in Govardhan, there I shall retire and be peaceful and write many things. And now Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi is there, and Keshavananda Prabhu was there recently, and reporting back about the beautiful way that the trees, and I think it is those 4 trees that have been planted on each corner of Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi, and over the front of it, the thorny bougainvillea, I think it is called, which has grown. By now, it started off small, just as babies start small and grow up into big persons. So the bougainvillea started small, but it's really fully grown over the trellis, over the framework that's been built over the front of the Pushpa Samadhi. And it's thorny, so the monkeys don't climb on it, I hope. I mean, monkeys have a little idea of self-preservation, just like us. And so you don't go climbing on thorny bushes. So it makes it a peaceful place to sit and to chant. And before, you know what monkeys are like. Before, they would go up on the trellis and they would sit above you just for their amusement. And I won't explain then what they do when sitting above you. But the monkeys, they're very naughty. But with the arrangement that's been made there, then everything going very beautifully. And just a little reminder of Gurudev when we're hearing about the Kadamba. And in the Kadamba flower is being quoted constantly for the example of like Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy, and the hairs on his body stood up like those filaments on the Kadamba flower. And the fragrance of Kadamba is very wonderful. The fragrance of Bakul is out of this world. It is a fragrance which is out of this world. And, you know, it's just, you can't duplicate it. What can you say? It's a very gentle and subtle fragrance, and it can be strong. How can it be subtle and strong? Well, you just have to go to heaven to find that one out. But you don't have to go to heaven. You can go to Nabadwip and go to the land of nectar. Officially, Gauranga Colony is the name of where that land is, just down from our temple, which is owned by the temple. They grow crops, they grow vegetables, and there's a bokal tree. And the bokal tree does give flower for a long time, by the way. It gives flowers for a long time. And the flowers are tiny, and like this size tiny, and flowers. But the ladies collect those flowers, like, I don't know how many, 100 to make a garland, maybe, who knows how many, but so many flowers to make a garland. But then the garland, it is fragrant for a long, long time. And wherever there's a vocal garland in particular, but vocal flowers, it just transforms that place. And of course, all of these beautiful things offered to Krishna. Fragrance comes from Krishna, the fragrance of the earth, but the earth contains all fragrances, all the fragrances of this material world. Hare Krishna. Then we can make vocal garlands, kadamba flower garlands. They usually put kadamba flowers with something else because they're quite heavy if you have a garland of kadamba flowers. And especially if there's a bit of string, right, that it's not a full garland, but there's some string left. They offer you a prasad garland, no doubt, but then you got the heavy garland with the thin string almost cutting one's neck. And by the way, Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, they were all very tolerant with, you know, accepting garlands, wearing the garlands, keeping the garlands on. And in later days, Gurudev, he had the allergy to the marigolds, but still devotees, not knowing, they would give him garlands, and Gurudev would graciously accept and then humbly, gently remove them and pass them, you know, to one side without making the devotees disturbed. And then later we just have to try, well, we tried before rather than later to let the devotees know, actually, it's good to offer Gurudev jasmine flowers, which are also very fragrant, also another kind of flower which is not allergic to. But it was marigold he became allergic to. And marigold, by the way, those garlands were offered to the deities. They were prasad garlands, etc. But Gaura Purnima is a classic day for wearing new cloth. Srila Gurudev would give new cloth on Gaura Purnima to the dependents upon the mat. It means the brahmacharis and the actual residents of the mat. He would give new cloth, and devotees would be all very smartly dressed for Gaura Purnima. And then when the garlands come around, they're largely the marigold garlands. But marigold does stain if it gets a little bit, if they get a little bit wet, etc. And so often you'll see the stain of the marigold garlands coming out onto the brand new cloth of the devotees. And I noticed, by the way, and I noticed that this year, the beginning of the parikrama, it was 36 degrees. And I noticed the last couple of days were 38 degrees in Nabadwip. So quickly the summer has come, the heat, hot time has come. Hare Krishna. Oh, look at that. Anyway, Aparajita Devi Dasi, she's got sunflowers around her as far as I can see in the thumbnail, which is a hallmark of Ukraine, the Ukrainian devotees. Hare Krishna. Oh, I've been in Nabadwip these last few minutes. Look how many devotees are with us in Nabadwip. We're having a winding down day, Srila Devi Dasi. I see you've joined us. I don't know how long you've been with us because I've been lost in Nabadwip. But we're having a winding down day from actually 3 days of festivals, because the day before was a festival. The day before Mahaprabhu's appearance was a festival. Mahaprabhu's appearance day was a festival. And yesterday was a festival. And we've been blessed to have visiting devotees, visiting good souls, sincere seekers, and everybody participating, everybody happy they're coming here to participate. And Seva Rupa Devi Dasi, in the chat box, she's offered you all some Kadamba flowers. There you are, look, that's Kadamba. That's a dense bunch of Kadamba flowers. Okay, breathe in. There, now you know what is Kadamba flower. Hare Krishna. Yes, Srila Devi Dasi. In the mood of winding down from Nimai Sundar's appearance and the continuous Sankirtan, Harikatha, Seva, etc., Sadhu Sangha association with the devotees, continuous for the last 72 hours. Then in the winding down and back to reality. Oh no, the other way around, isn't it? Not back to reality. Back to, not sure. Anyway, Srila Devi Dasi, over to you. Sweet Lake City, where they say Salt Lake City, but the water there must be something special in the water for so many sweet devotees to come from there. So Sweet Lake City, please share a few words with us.
Dandavad Maharaj, I know I'm tardy today. This is the end of the third day for us. It's just the evening of of the Adivas festival, and then Sri Gaura Purnima and Jagannath Mishra's festivals today. So we're just happily exhausted. And then tomorrow's the Sunday program. But it's been a kind of a miracle. And I was thinking about, wow, and especially reading that Navadvip Bhavatarangi, at Bhavataranga, as you know, you really feel so an incredible blessing coming from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's sharing his actual, his divine experience of the Dham with us. And I feel like that's, for me, like the most wonderful thing, the most wonderful part of the whole festival. Even though so many things happened, so many devotees came, and Mahaprabhu with his new dress, and of course we so many lovely events. And today the kirtan, I kept looking around because it felt like that. It sounded like there maybe were 500 devotees in the temple room. It felt like there were so many people there, but it was really wonderful. And other things I was thinking about were, we're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and as you're always reminding us, Maharaj, that, to take some time with our japa beads. Those are like a deity given to us by our Guru, our Gurudev, and taking some time alone, like really alone with our japa beads. And Gurudev said, I want to say, we should not be wandering around and talking. He made a very big point of this one time in Calcutta Mata, I remember. He said, when we're chanting our japa, don't be interrupted. Don't wander around and do all these things, especially, the phone asura, who's going to always try to draw our attention away, but to spend some time with the holy name. Just, and it's a very wonderful thing and an important thing for all of us to sit down privately with our japa and with the holy name. We have so many other things that we're doing in our lives and trying to practice surrender and seeing this synergy of existence, that at every moment there is purification coming to everyone. At every moment, everyone is being adjusted. And if we can simply cooperate with that, then we will see how wonderful everything is, really. And the only problem is that we will not accept it. And this is very difficult for all of us. But we need to really practice that and to, try to approach the holy name without offenses. And as you were saying in the initiation on Gaura Purnima morning, Maharaj, you were reminding us of the offenses of namabas also. And that we must be attentive. We are approaching our dearest friend, who is the Supreme Lord, as Guru Maharaj said, the dear friend of our heart. And try to give some attention there, some real attention. Anyway, there's so many things. But it's a very exciting life that we have. And we meet the best part of everyone we meet in the temple and in our lives. We meet the best part of everyone. And it's such a wonderful thing that even if we don't feel enthusiasm, or we don't feel, we're not feeling up for it or something like that, if we just stay in the boat, if we're just there, then all these things will happen and we will be there. So we're always trying to keep the association of the Vaishnavas, and especially senior Vaishnavas to us. We're always trying to seek out that best association. And no matter what my situation is, some good will come to me, no way around it. And so we're so many things that we are so grateful for. And with seeing all your faces is just like so delightful. I can't, every time I see the, Govinda Farm devotees, I don't get to see Ram that often. And, Kesha, you're, and Liam, and all of you is just so sweet. And no matter how unsweet I feel, it's going to rub off one day. Anyway, a few things. We can't really conceive of what kind of mercy is coming, because Mahaprabhu's, he's just the most generous. Guru Maharaj says he's not a miser. Like we give things in charity, it's usually, the stuff we don't want anymore. But the very thing that he found to be the greatest, most noble, most dignified, most wondrous thing in the devotion of Srimati Radharani, he's giving that. That thing that he's worshiping, that he feels is the greatest thing in existence, that's what he's giving. So, we're just babies, barely opening our eyes, but we'll, come hell or high water, we're just going to keep at it. Hare Krishna.
Jai. It's not often Srila Devi Dasi is lost for words, but we're very happy that 3 days of festivals has had an effect on you as it has on us. Really, we've been very much within this whole vibration. And I'm, by the way, very happy to I mean, also to echo what you said about the Nabadwip Dham Mahatmya. And as I try to encourage the devotees, please do read Nabadwip Dham Mahatmya. There we will be transported into the best ever parikrama of Nabadwip Dham, Nityananda Prabhu and Jiva Goswami. And it is that that keeps us going in our present day, in remembrance, whether we are there physically, or whether we are, at a little distance, separation. And separation can help keep us from making offenses too, because it's a challenge to adjust everything in a harmonious way. When you're with devotees, if you're with many devotees, it can be a challenge. We have to always see the good everywhere and not to have any judgment. And especially if the devotees are putting, loudspeakers and all sorts of things, we have to, see the side. Oh, they're doing this with a very good intention of blaring out the holy names as loudly as absolutely possible. And such a wonderful invention these loudspeakers are. We'd have to make some harmony with all these things. And sometimes, and it's unhappy when we see, sometimes the devotees do flip out a little bit and go literally pull out the plugs, pull out the wires from the speakers. And then, of course, if you do that, you get a definite reaction from the environment, meaning from the devotees as well. So, you have to be a little bit careful in all these dealings with the devotees, and especially in the holy Dham. Hare Krishna. But our life is meant for proper adjustment. So challenges come everywhere. But the perfect adjustment, again, what are we referring to here? Nityananda Prabhu taking Jiva Goswami on pilgrimage around the islands of Nabadwip, and this is coming through the heart and lips of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So everything that we are coming in touch with, it is coming in touch with the devotees. It's through the devotees, and not through like a mechanical way, or just somebody's thinking it's like this, thinking it's like that. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj,
Anyway,
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that point, because we're always trying to solve the world by thinking something, like think this or think that or think that. But actually, through surrender, the Lord can just show us so many things. And that's what we want, that life. I'm sorry, I actually completely changed the subject. I'm going to go back and mute myself again.
No, please continue, because it's true. We are always thinking we change this or change that. And even with little things, and we can say about little things, but actually we need to change. It is the fact. And we need to happily accept all the positive things everywhere. And we can make a list of positive things in our environment. But yes, Srileka, please please do unmute yourself. Well, we're not going to take the focus off your picture, so better you say something than just be a big picture on our screen.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this the other day, because I was walking and feeling a little, because so many things to do, and feeling a little tired. So I was just walking along, and I was just trying to remember the holy name of the Lord. I mean, not that I've ever had any experience of the holy name of the Lord, but still it occurred to me how many thoughts we have about this and this and this and this. But really, we can live in a plane where, the Lord can show us reality. And we don't have to be walking around with a white stick, like we don't have any eyes. But those eyes are meant to feel, the divine flow of his will. And it is really all harmonizing. We don't trust that. But actually, the flow of divine will is by nature harmonizing everything. But we are resisting that to the point of harming ourselves. But it takes, you know, the 6 limbs of surrender. We have to at least have the humility to understand that I require some adjustment, and to in the difficult times to bow down and say, my Lord, you are adjusting me. You are so affectionate. You're so sweet and kind and merciful. And let me allow this adjustment to come. And Guru Maharaj said, so many karmas are happening all the time. It's not just one person has this karma here and another has this. It's all in a synergy. And we can't do that much about that. But we can find the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. And that's the solution. That's the real solution. That force of karma, but that's not a bad thing if we can see it properly. We will see that as coming in a mood to rectify me, and in the most gentle way possible. So anyway, these are kind of important things. I believe that they're very important for us in understanding what our sadhana is. It's a very deep thing, and it's very individual. We are individuals. Krishna has an individual relationship with every soul. Can you imagine that as a definition of God? And so it's very personal. Hare Krishna.
The personality of God. And yes, okay, I'm not going to start on another tangent. Why? Because actually our time is up. And the time is up, and I've got actually things to do on this side of the world. I tried to put something in the chat box just now, but sweet Zoom doesn't seem to accept a PNG. It seems to only maybe accept JPG. Anyway, it doesn't accept the file that I'm trying to put in the chat box. So we'll have to keep that for another day. Anyway, it was a file with a name that nobody will want to read. So I save you from it. It is called Homework. And it's from previous ages, so no one likes homework, do they? So I'll leave it for another day. But it was meant to be something good. Anyway, Srileka, you came in a little late. Today is Gangalila Devi Dasi's birthday, so you please add your birthday wishes to all of our birthday wishes, because the Vaishnava's wishes are all very important. And to all of you, we're very happily again going through your names, and to both of our Jayadev Prabhus, we're very happy to have you both with us. And all of you, we went through one by one a little earlier in the day, and who joined later on? Priyananda Devi Dasi joined us later on, Radha Sundari Devi Dasi joined us later on, and we've given personal greetings to others. I don't have a separate connection for turning on Facebook today, so I haven't seen live on Facebook. But those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on Zoom, those of you who are on the recorded version and made it through all this way on our winding down day, we have, you say, debriefing. Debriefing is after events happen and we come together and think, okay, how did we do, etc. Let's do a little recap. And a briefing, by the way, we were looking interestingly about some itinerary that we're arranging. And we have on the itinerary at the end, debriefing, because it is constructive to come together after festivals, etc. And we're trying to think, what is the opposite word from debriefing? And even went to the dictionary. How foolish. This is me, not others. Went to the dictionary to look for the opposite. What's the opposite? Briefing. So we have a like a briefing before the event, the day before, and a debriefing the day after the event. So briefing time has finished, and now debriefing. And the devotees, by the way, I just shared the devotees here in Villa Govinda. Everyone did a fantastic job. And I think we had the same number of devotees in Kirtan as in Salt Lake City, Sweet Lake City. It sounded as though 500 devotees were there and chanting. It was a very beautiful day. So yes, every one of you has had the best Gaura Purnima ever, been reading the best books ever, been remembering about being cooked in the pot. We are like fish, being cooked in the pot. But it is a fact. And all of our life energy we should try to use and gather together and put in the proper place, and not to let any slip through. And I think that when in our Back to Basics last time we said, let us try to make Gaura Purnima Day that one day in the year which really we don't have any gaps, that we use our devotional, that our time fully in thought, activity, or everything about Krishna consciousness and Srileka saying, and giving our attention properly to the japa, etc., etc. And I don't know how successful everybody was, but at least we tried. But we should try to keep that going now too. And by the way, here it's become a little warmer, so we've been outside these last couple of mornings chanting japa before the Mangalati, like we do whenever we can. And so in Thailand, when we have the festival there, and not even not have the festival there, we try to be outside, chant japa, and as Srileka was saying, to give our focus and not be attending to the mobile phone, talking or doing other things. And anyhow, just to say the last couple of days, Gaura Purnima Day and yesterday here has been warmer, and we've been able to be outside. When it's minus, it's kind of, we still go outside sometimes, but you've got to be a little warmed up. And I do have a very warm woolen chadar, so we are happy to be there. So anyway, dear devotees, my point was only simply, however well or not well we've done to try to make the Gaura Purnima Day like really a proper day of everything in our devotional life, we should try to make every day a proper day. Remember the facilities we've got, what we're connected with, see all the positive things and stay connected there and stay on the boat. So from all of our contributors. Okay, you've got to go as well. I've got to go as well. We've got to stop sometime, don't we? Okay. But anyway, happy to have your association. And let's all chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Okay, the end. Not quite. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. To all of you good devotees ki Jai. And keep up the energy, keep up the focus. Do your best, chant Hare Krishna, stay in good association. Serve with mind, body, words, so many more things we can say from the readings too about service. Service must come from inside. We must try to develop it. All right, dear devotees, and Dana, the clocks went forward in the United States, just to let you know. So you have to keep a track, Dana. It's an hour, we're just finishing, not just beginning. But I know every year in the United States, it throws people off. Our timing is based on Nabadwip timing, which doesn't change. It used to be changed on based on Californian timing, but it threw very difficult when the clocks go forwards, and different days in the year also, in some places not. So based on Nabadwip timing, so now the clocks are forward. So Dana, happy to have you with us for these few minutes to remember you too at this auspicious time of Gaura Purnima. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Okay, dear devotees, see you all soon and all best wishes. Ami Ashchi. Hare Krishna. Nobody's going to go. You can all stay together. I'm going to go. In fact, I'm going to go outside. Well, it's raining, so I have to find a dry place.
Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat, 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 everybody. Hari Bol.